All right, I'm back and just finished the meeting, just finished right on time. So, time to get back into coding. Hopefully, something will shake loose now that my brain was on something else. So, we'll see if we can figure this issue out. So, the issue was just before I shut down for the meeting, about half an hour ago, the issue was this test is meant to test some validation if any one of these invalid usernames is supplied by the user. So empty string, null, or really, really, really long name, more than 100 characters. I hope that's 100 characters. That's not valid. What's not going right is that case seems to be working. The really, really long one, yep, that's working just fine. But we're not getting any validation errors when it's null or empty string. And I don't know why that is. Very frustrating. So let's take another look, a fresh look, after 2 full cups of coffee and taking my brain off the issue and thinking about something else. So here is the validator for user service. So this starts by setting the shared validator. It's checking email. Must be a valid email address, which only looks at email. Then it looks at the password, looks at username. Username is required. It says right here, username is required. This is what it should be hitting. And then if it's, this one is being hit. This one here for sure. Not empty. Will fail if property is null, empty string, white space, empty collection, etc. That should be triggering this message right here. It's not, seems to be triggering anything. Why is that? Okay, then we go back to the one specific to update user request. So those are shared between registration and update. Because I didn't want to, this is an episode from weeks past, I didn't want to have this logic in 2 places, so I have to update it, because I potentially do want to update this later, this password. I want to update it remember to update in 2 different places and get those validation out of sync. That can be a very frustrating user experience. So that's why I shared them. Okay. So that's the shared user. Then we go on to must have at least one change, which is just saying you got to change at least one thing. Otherwise, this is a pointless exercise and we'll just bail out. So password, bio, image, or email. One of those things must be changed, or must be a incoming change. So, and if you don't have one of those, you get this message, okay? Then we go on to must not match any other email. If the username is specified, then it's got to be something that's, you can't change your email to somebody else's email address. Then bio's got to be less than 500 characters. Image must be a URL, must be a JPEG or ping. And that's it. And it's not hitting the username one. Username is required. So let's look at my tests again. So username comes in. It is an empty string. That is off to this. Okay, so it's just embedded in there. We're setting up this mock to say email and username. We're mocking that, but that should never run in the case of an empty string. That's the shared. No, it's in this one. Yeah, that's this method right here. Does exist user by email and username. And that is returning, it's a mock to return false. So it should not cause any validation errors. Anyway, and then it goes off to handle with that request. It has username of blank in it. Should hit validation, but it's not. Let's see what this, let's just comment out some code and see what happens if I don't have that mocked. No, it should be a different type of error, right? No, it's the same error. It's like it's skipping all the validation. Is this getting the right validation objects? So update and then the shared, it's all in there. It's all in there. Why isn't, seems like the validation's not getting run at all. Let's just set a breakpoint there, I guess. But I know it is, because the other test is, this one's passing. It's just going to be something so stupid once I find it. I'm going to be so angry. All right, there's the request. With blank username, everything else is valid. So it should say, username, hey, that's not... that's not going to do it. But what I get back is empty results, and it is valid. It does not make any sense. Let's look at this again. Not empty. Username is required. Is there something wrong with this? Username is required. Username is required. This validator does not check the username, but it should be using the shared validator to check that, like it's doing with all this other stuff. Oh, let's try that. Let's just try putting something that's not a valid password in here. That should not be a valid password. We'll at least get a different validation error message. Yes, there we go. Expected username is required, but it's hitting the password one for sure, which is in the shared validator. Not empty. Username must not be empty. Hey, it's Guy from Mars. What's going on? Good to see you. Kind of frustrated right now. Can't get this validation code, this test, to... It seems like it's just ignoring this validation code. Rule for username. 2 T's. Yes, that's me. Matthew with 2 T's. Not empty. Username. But yet, it's not hitting that username. What about, let's see. Yeah, this has the properties. Username is there. This follows that interface. So username should be there. And any other validation, it hits just fine. Is it something with this? Oh, that can't be right either. Username is required. And it's not empty. Let's just put something manual in here. I don't know. This is completely not the way you're supposed to use Fluent Validator, but let's just try it. So it's not be empty, so not string is null or empty arg. This is a pointless way to do this because this should already be built in. But let's just try it. Maybe something will shake loose. Yeah, same thing. It's like it's not even hitting it. Well, it's, I don't know. Let's ask Copilot. Why not? Why would this shared fluent validator rule not be executing? Let's just see what it has. Validation being triggered at all. So I know the validation is being triggered. Shared validation is being used. I know it is being used. Username property is not being passed or is passed with a null or empty value. Well, yes, it is a null or empty value. That's exactly what I'm trying to test for. Can add a breakpoint. Minimum length. Oh, gosh. Let's try that. Minimum length is, I don't know, 5 with message. Gotta be longer, pal. A temporary message. I'm not going to actually keep this code in. Still not getting it. Not getting any validation errors. It's like it's just completely ignoring the username here. Oh, I don't want that. Where is that username? Let me see something here. No, I was thinking maybe there's a nullable or something on this, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Valid username must be specified. Comes in through this test case. I don't know, let's just blank this out. Crying out loud. Should be the same thing, but just trying to eliminate things at this point, so that's not it. It's like it's thinking that it's valid. It is not valid. Let me turn off this cascade mode. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Just want a different error message at this point. Anything. Nope. It does not make sense. Rebuild the whole thing. That should do nothing either. But let's just try it. Just trying everything at this point. Why can't I click on that line number anymore? Okay, I don't know, but it's right here. It should never reach this point. It should be getting an error message here. Adex Martin, hello. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for joining. And I see you have the same issue that guy from Mars has, in that I have 2 T's in Matthew. But I'll let it slide this one time. Maybe I should change my Twitch name to Matthew with 2 T's. I'm glad you're here, Adex Martin. How did you find the channel? What brings you here? And can you help me with my fluent validation issues? Because I am struggling. It is all about the struggle right now. This is one of those frustrating times as a programmer where it's just like, this should work. I don't know why it's not working. I'm trying everything, and I'm just stuck. This is not what I wanted to do today. I had much more interesting things to move on to. But this has got to pass. So if I have confidence in this code base. Just found you on Twitter and follow. Oh, well, thanks. Thanks for following me on here on Twitch. You follow me on Twitter or are you following me on Twitch? Let's see. Oh, there's the follow from Martin Adex. Looks like you are an animator, video editor, and so on. That's cool. And Calvin follows you as well. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found it. I hope you find this stream interesting, useful, or at least entertaining. All right. Where am I going wrong here? Update user submit model is just a wrapper for that, which has the username in it right there. It's going to the validator. Is it? No, that doesn't make sense either. Because I don't hit username here at all. I don't think that'll be a problem anyway. But it's setting the shared user. It should be running through that. X equals X username. Huh. Again, I don't think this matters, but let's just move it up to the top. See if something different happens. Nope. Same issue. This does not make sense. Is it using the correct validator? Share update user. Wait, that's yeah, update user request, right? Update user view model user. Is that maybe the issue? It's actually using the wrong thing? Registration request handler. Registration request. Update user request. Update user request. Update user request. Validator. Shared. Let me just look at this. Registration, validator. Registration. Okay, so it's not using the same class there either. Registration user submit model. So that's correct. It's a different view model, yes. But this inherits from that, whereas this one also has a class that inherits from that, so that can't be the issue. Well, looks like according to the count right here at the bottom of the screen, there's 5 of you watching me be very frustrated with C#. I appreciate you hanging out here. I feel the support. I'm glad you're all here. And I wish I had something more interesting to show you than me just banging my head against the screen. There are a couple of new Twitch plugins that I added. You might want to try, like little interactive elements. If you scroll down on Twitter, do I have a Twitter? Yes, I do have a Twitter. Is M Groves. There's the link right there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you get to see, when I'm going live on Twitter if you want to. Although if you're following me on Twitch, you'll also get to see that live notifications. Twitch does take a little bit of time to send out those emails, so on Twitter you might see a little bit earlier. I would be Shiv. Your real name is Shiv. Well, thank you very much, Shiv. I assume you're following me on Twitter. I appreciate that. Don't see you yet, but thank you anyway. You're not actually from Mars? Or maybe you're from the Mars Candy Company. If so, give me those free stamps. I'll give you my mailing address. Send me some chocolate. I could use some chocolate right now. More like India. Haha. Does they make good chocolate in India? I have no idea. I know chocolate tastes vary across the world. Like in America, it's very much all about the milk chocolate. Like Hershey's is kind of the baseline, right? Cadbury sort of thing. But I think Europe, it's a little bit more skewed towards dark chocolate, which I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate. In some situations, I'm okay with it. But that's just kind of what I was raised on was milk chocolate, so that's what I like. But I have no idea what Indian chocolate preferences are, if any. Let's try moving that down there. Again, it shouldn't make any difference, but let's just try something. What? Why is that working? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't all these rules be applied? Weird. Okay, they're all passing now. Let's see, you prefer desserts, like, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to try to say these things. Look in the chat. I don't know what any of those desserts are. I'm sorry. My dessert of choice is ice cream, personally. I like pie as well. Ice cream of any kind, really. Not a big fan of like nuts in ice cream, like Rocky Road and stuff like that. But I'm not a big fan of huge chunks of chocolate in ice cream either. There's a chocolate company based here in Ohio called Grater's, and they put way too much chocolate in their ice cream. They're more of a chocolate company than an ice cream company. But yeah, pretty much any ice cream. I will go to town. On when I'm on a cruise, they usually have a all you can, just complimentary ice cream machine. And every time I walk past, I'm grabbing a cone or grabbing a dish of ice cream. I eat tons of ice cream. Love it. So this is passing, but why is it passing? Like Lindt, caramel, chocolate. Okay, Lindt, I think you mean Lindt or something like that. That's a European brand, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, dark chocolate. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate. It's not inedible, but it's just not my deal. I do like something called Sanders. They have chocolate-covered caramels. They might be similar to the Lindt caramels. So it's like a big piece of candy, but it's mostly caramel, and it's just got a kind of a thin layer of dark chocolate. They also make a milk chocolate version, but they're both good. But I think that's mostly because of the caramel I like. So this is passing now. Why is that passing? That is concerning. Why would that work one way and not the other? Does not make sense. But you know what? At this point, I'm just going to take it. It's passing, and I'm happy, and I can figure that out later. Why that is that way. Let's run all the other tests just to make sure. Okay. So now we've got registration. Now it's got an error message. The same thing. You're on a diet and chocolates are out of my choices. Yeah, I'm also cutting right now, and it's hard to get too much chocolate, but you have a little piece. Not going to kill you. So username must not be empty. Why is this one failing? It looks like the same test, actually. Oh, this is getting 2 validations now. Why is this getting 2 validation errors? So it's a different problem. Username is required. Username must not be empty. Whoop. Why do I have 2 of those? Uh-oh. Username is required. Get profile. And where's the username must not be empty? Username must not be empty. Okay, it's just redundant, I think. Yeah, I think that's just redundant. Don't need that both places because I'm refactoring this to use username as the key. What were those tests? Okay, but now the messages aren't right, so username is required is probably the better error message. Where is that? Username is... Wait, what? Oh, right, this is my test, I think. No. Expected. Okay, username must not be empty. Oh, Guy from Mars with a subscribe. Thank you very much, Guy from Mars. I appreciate that. That is very encouraging to not only get past an issue, if not completely solve it, but to get it subscribed at the same time. So thank you very much. Treat yourself to a little piece of chocolate. All right, let's try this again. I think all those are also in the wrong folder, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that, all passing tests. Fantastic. Now, one thing that was odd is this supposed to be auth? It should be users, not auth. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a remnant, but that should be users. And I'll go ahead and refactor those namespaces while I'm at it. Don't know why that's the case. Oh no! What does that mean? Oh no! All right, run the test again. Yeah, unit users. That makes more sense. Okay, all passing. Thank goodness. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run it. For real, I told you to eat chocolate. Just a little piece, Guy from Mars. Just a tiny little piece. Just to reward yourself for being such a great follower and now subscriber here on Twitch. I think that's fair. So, if you remember, the connection string is no longer in app settings, right? Let me just take this off the screen just to make sure. Oh, it looks like yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to change that because, as I told you last time, my trial ran out. My Capella trial ran out. So I haven't quite gotten over to using the full Capella experience yet. Something I'll probably have by Friday. But oh, this should be Couchbase because I'm just doing local. So I'm just going to connect to my local database here. And I'll have to run the migrations. I think those are just going to use the conduit.web configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and run those migrations. You know what? I didn't run a integration test yet. Let's do that first. Let's see what breaks there. So integration test. Hopefully these won't break, but let's find out. Yep, they all break. Great. So what happened here? Service not available exception. Service is not configured or cannot be reached. Why is that? Because it should be connecting. Oh, maybe because I didn't rebuild yet. Hey, bada bing, bada boom, ×3. That's Calvin Allen right there. And his famous catchphrase, bada bing, bada boom. All right. Unit test. Try this, just this one. Why isn't it connecting? No. This should be pulling from conduit.web, which I just updated with local. Let me make sure this is still up and running. Yeah, still there. This is my local Couchbase server. Just, I don't know, set a breakpoint somewhere. Just run it as debug. I don't know. Oh, shoot. See where this fails. We got a null reference exception. Oh, bucket is null, so a bucket wasn't created. Why is that? Oh, is it because, what did I? Oh, bucket name is conduit, right? That's the correct bucket. Yeah, conduit. There's nothing in it yet. It's completely empty. But administrative password, that's the credentials. All right, let's just set up, let's just breakpoint through here. What is going on with the connection here? Yep. So what is this returning me? I'm going to take this off the screen for a second because it could be sensitive information. Whoops. Okay, so it's still pulling the old connection info from somewhere. Maybe from user secrets. Yep, that's probably where it is. So let me bring up the user secrets and make changes to that as well. Where's user secrets? Manage user secrets. There we go. Nothing there. Was it something here? User secrets. Yep, that's where it was. Okay. Forgot about user secrets. And it's going to use the old integration test bucket, which yeah, it's probably fine actually. So there's the secrets. Oh, we got some more. Oh, there's the follow from Shiv Shankar. Thank you for the follow on Twitter. Appreciate that. But now I need to go back to this and create a bucket called integration tests. So this is what I was doing with Capella, so I may as well do it here locally as well. Pull these minimums on. There we go. Okay. Now it should work, all right? I might run a little faster because it's locally. Oh, what? Still, okay. Do I need to rebuild? What on earth is going on? Oh, time to set a breakpoint again. Make sure it's actually pulling the right thing. Where is it? Base integration test. So again, I'm taking this off the screen because it could be sensitive info. Although those credentials are worthless now because the trial's over. So not a big deal if you see them. So yeah, let me just bring it back over here. Okay, so we're trying to connect, grabbing the config. It seems to connect to the cluster just fine. So what's the, what is this? Oh, integration tests, yeah. connection string. What is that? Be right back. I see you, guy from Mars. Okay, so it's still pulling the old connection string from somewhere. Where is that? Is it somewhere in the test secrets? That might be where it is. User secrets. Yep. Okay, so it's here too. I have it in multiple places. So now you get to look behind the curtain and see those top secret credentials that are no longer valid because the trial is over. Okay. Now it should run. It might not pass, but it should at least hit the database and run. Okay, so we got null reference exception. So yes, there are things that are broken. Yeah, probably because I did the refactoring. So yeah, this should not be using email to insert, should be using username. So this is database code I'm directly using instead of my own logic for purposes of tests. So that's why that's busted. Just need to change that. Should be no big deal. User for email. Yep, that's all fine. Run her again. But it seems like the migrations are working. If we're getting that far. Pass. Okay. Probably similar errors elsewhere. Let's give them a run. What passes, what fails? We'll find out. So this one's failing, probably the same reason. Yep. Doesn't matter. Username. This should be email. Wait a second. Okay. Yes, so the username does matter in this case. But I shouldn't be putting it here. I should be putting email here. And the email doesn't matter, I don't think. Username is the new key. Okay, that's all fine. What else? Everything else broke too. Why not? Everything else broke. Okay. Username. Oh no. Okay. So because, all right. So in this case, username doesn't actually matter because I'm just logging in. So all I care about is the email address. So the email should match that one. User view model dot email. Okay. Let's go back and run this one again. I'm kind of doing multiple at a time here. Sorry for all switching around, but just trying to get through this. Just trying to, oh, what? Expected something, but was null. Profile is not giving the username. Is profile supposed to give username? I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be in there, is it? It's going to be a request. I'll have to reuse the request. And no. Cluster is not yet bootstrapped. What? What are we talking about? It's bootstrapped just fine. Right there it is. Why is that error message happening? Okay, weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going too fast. Some race condition stuff. Okay. Value cannot be null. So we've got... what was that test? Yeah. Okay. Value cannot be null. Right here. So email username can't be null, apparently. which makes sense. Why isn't it actually giving it? Because I'm logging in. So here's the handler. Logging in, and this is where actually generate the token. Is that what's failing? Generate token? Yeah, generate token is failing because username is not there in the database. Because I'm not matching this to anything. Where is it pulling username from? When I log in, it's getting it back out of the database. So when I create that, email should match. So it should be getting that. When I get that user out. All right, time for a little debugging. So the guy from ours probably ran off to get some chocolate real quick. I could definitely use some chocolate today. Okay, here we go. Password is whatever. Let's see, the user object. Username is null. That's not good. Why isn't it giving the username? Because username is not part of the data. This needs to be meta u.id as username. Because looking up by email, so username is not returned by u.star because again it's not part of the data, it's metadata. So I have to add that on there. Okay. Now we should work, right? Is the one? Yeah. See, this is why integration testing is important. That I would never have caught that in unit test. Okay, still not happy. Why not? I gotta double check that. I bet it's that same endpoint. I'm not actually pulling username. That's probably what's happening, right? No, this should be pulling username. Are we running a unit test here? What's going on? What happens? Again with the bootstrapped. That's unfortunate. I never got those with Capella. Okay. I want to set a breakpoint in here. Somewhere around here. Try it again. Okay, so results. So, yes, so there is result. What's result at first? What's in there? Username null. How is that possible? Is my query wrong? All right, let's just try this query. There's no, oh, crud. Do I have those in there? No, it's still in there. Haven't been destroyed yet. That might be the reason, because I'm setting these breakpoints and bailing out. Okay, forget this stuff. We're just going to go integration tests, default. What? No, integration tests. Wait, what? There's users right there. What are we doing here? Oh, okay. Yeah. We're fine. From its users. You execute. Oh, is that the reason? Is the index not running? Index is. Oh, because okay. Gosh. Because I'm not, okay. Where you dot email, what is it? Is not missing. Can I just do that? Okay. So there's username. So it doesn't matter. Username. Why is that not making its way into my user object? I'm concerned it's JSON ignore, but it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be a problem. It should be able to set that when getting it out. Not to serialize it, yeah. But I can deserialize it. All right. Username. Is it a casing issue? I don't think that should be it. Because Newtonsoft should be able to handle that, or whatever the JSON serializer is. I am concerned about that. Let's just see if that fixes it, because if so, maybe I have the wrong attribute on there all along. Okay, no, that's not it. Thank goodness. I don't think that's the issue either. So it's selecting those things. Email equals email. That's the result right there. Looks like all that. Username, bio, email. It should all be serialized. Or serialized into .NET object. It's kind of suspicious, isn't it? Salt is the same as these first few characters. Is that how it's supposed to work? Anyway, there's no reason that shouldn't properly serialize that, since it is being returned. Right? What am I missing here? What am I missing here? Okay. Result. Yeah, username is null. Why is username null when I'm selecting it right there? Is there a typo that I'm not seeing? Results. Username. Yep. Once I hit control, you can't see that when I zoom in. Now what's the problem? let me just copy this, just to double check in my SQL query situation that's correct. Where email equals that. Key space not found. What? Oh, did it drop them? That would figure, wouldn't it? All right. How did it drop them this time? Okay, that's weird. Try again. Key space not found. Oh, I guess gosh. Let's set a breakpoint. Or run debug mode, I guess. So hit a breakpoint, pause, while there's data in there, so I can validate that my query is correct. Okay. Well, it's not returning anything now. What? That wouldn't, that's bizarre. Oh, because it's probably different. A different email now. Yeah, because it's different every time. Okay. All right, so there's a username in the result. Why isn't that getting added here? Result. Username null. That's the whole object. It was working fine before with email. I assume it was. Maybe I had something wrong. So because I bailed out, the structure's still there. That's fine. This doesn't make any sense. Unless it's just, because I just tried the JSON ignore thing and it was still not working, right? Well, this is a day of frustration for sure. Something simple that I'm missing with this. Run the query, serialize to user, username's right there. Result any, but it's not putting it in user, not populating username. Why is it not populating username? I tried casing, but I don't think that's the issue. But we just put them both in there just to be sure. Oh, shoot, where'd the tests go? Darn it. Login, request handler, tests, and integration. If it passes this time, I will be baffled. Okay, it doesn't pass. It's failing here because the username being passed in is null, and apparently I can't pass in a null to this array. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, a claim, I guess this constructor says that the value's got to be not null, which makes sense. So that's where the exception's happening, right there, because it's not pulling out the username from the database, despite the query actually returning username from the database. Okay, it's gone now. What on earth am I doing wrong? Because I know this query is valid. I know it. I know it's returning username, but it's not putting it in the user. Even if I comment out this JSON ignore, which I don't think should affect it anyway. Let's try this again, just to make sure I wasn't imagining things. Won't be the first time today, I guess. Okay. Set a breakpoint there again, just to see that I'm not completely crazy. Okay, there's results. Results first. Oh! Now it's in there. So did that pass? Okay, so it is that. It is that. Oh, crud. Well, how's that working before? Probably because that was using key value before. Now it's using SQL. Okay, so JSON ignore might be the wrong thing. What is the right thing? Actually, okay, let me think about this some more. So in this case, I need to return the whole user, including the username, starting with the email. This query can give me that, but it's not serializing it into this user object. But this is the same user object I use to insert data into the database. And I never want this to be saved as JSON to the database, but I would want it to be returned from this query. So I want it to go in, but not out. But in both cases, it's serializing JSON. That's what the problem is here. I don't know if there's a way to have like a ignore it in one situation but not the other without having two classes. Let me look at this some more. Okay, so this is definitely an issue. This is not this integration test has identified an issue, and that's good. How do I deal with it, though? That's the question. Okay, let's try with Copilot, see what it has to say. Okay, how do I ignore a property? Let's see, how do I get Couchbase to ignore a C# property when inserting data, but not ignoring it when selecting data? JSON ignore does not do what I want. Here's the class. Let's see what it has to say. JSON ignore during insert. Whoa. Is that a real property? JSON ignore during insert. Let's see. That's from Couchbase link. Oh, interesting. So I'm not using link to Couchbase, but that might be a very interesting property to have in my project. So let's go check out link to Couchbase and see if that's actually in there. JSON ignored during insert. JSON ignore during insert. Okay, this might be a hallucination, but let's see what we got here. It's an attribute, right? JSON, ignore. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yep, I don't see anything like that. Okay, so that's, I don't know if that actually exists, so we can, that attribute doesn't seem to exist in couchbase.link. Was there even a metadata? A namespace? Source, link, was there, yeah, here's metadata. Okay. Maybe there's something in here. This is all internal stuff though, so if I want to use this, I'll have to copy and paste it. Document metadata? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Seems like a hallucination to me. Okay. What do you have to say, Copilot? Okay, going to be more specific. Not just that attribute, but I'll say what the attribute was called. Upon further research, okay. So look at all this stuff. My goodness. You could achieve similar behavior depending on the scenario. Here's an example of how it's potentially used with your user class. So this is, again, using link to Couchbase because it's got this... Oh, wait, that's not link to Couchbase. Oh, look at all this stuff. Yeah, this pushes it down to the data layer, which, you know. Let's see. This is an expression. Exclude expression? Interesting. Is there an exclude from upsert? I'm curious about that. So if that's the case, then that might be the way I have to deal with this. Is you register a new user. Is there an upsert options? I don't see an exclude on there. Where was that? I pasted that. Expiry exclusions. Yeah, I don't see exclusions anywhere. Is it something on expiry? No. I think that's also an hallucination. GitHub is really, or Copilot's really hallucinating today. Exclusions. The exclusions extension method doesn't seem to exist either. Very frustrating day. Dependency injection. No, it's not in. No, it's not in there either. Okay, so we're way off the track here. Let's clear this chat history. Yep, I think this is more of it. I don't know. I just don't know. I wish this existed. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. So the other option is okay. So one other option, which I would hate to do this, but it might be the way I have to go, is use this query to get the ID, and then use that to do a key value lookup. And when I do that, it seems to not be using, well, I would expect it to do the same thing. Like it's going to be using content as underneath right here, right? Maybe it may not be. Very frustrating. Well, it's just about lunchtime, and this is about the time limit usually set for myself, so I'm kind of stuck. I'm going to consult an expert, a .NET Couchbase expert that I know on how to deal with this, and probably something I'm overlooking. But I think I'm going to call it a day. Frustrating day for sure. We all have days like this. But I'm glad you hung out with me, all you Guy from Mars and Dex Martin. Thanks for dropping in for the first time. Shout out to some people from the last time, Fewbits and Gallienus, for also following the Twitch channel. We'll do one more quick raid here if anyone's still left out there. We'll raid a teammate, whoever's hanging around. We've got, let's see, we've got some ads. Great. Finite Singularity. Why not? Rated him a few times, but let's do it again. Well, I'll see you over there, and I hope you have a good day. I will see you again on Friday for the next stream. Hopefully I have this issue figured out by then, and we can make some real progress. Okay. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you over there.